Hello everyone, this is Anurag and today we'll be studying a very interesting and important topic from physical chemistry, that is photoelectric effect, or how Einstein actually became famous. Now what is photoelectric effect? Let's first understand what definition says. The photoelectric effect is the emission of electrons when electromagnetic radiations such as light hits an material. Okay, the electrons emitted in this process are called as photoelectrons. Note this word photoelectrons. Okay, now let's just split the word photoelectric. Photo means light and electric means electricity. So basically, through this effect, light energy is converted into electricity. This is the basis of this effect. Now, actually this was accidentally discovered by Hertz when he was performing experiments on electromagnetic radiations to prove the Maxwell equations. Now further, in 1905, Einstein actually proved this through his theoretical explanations. And in 1921, he received his first Nobel Prize for his work and contribution to photoelectric effect. Yes, Einstein received only one Nobel Prize, and that is specially for his contribution to photoelectric effect, but not for theory of relativity. Please note this. Now let's understand this practically. Consider this a metal surface. When there's a specific light of having a specific frequency is incident on this metal surface, some amount of electrons proportional to energy of this light are emitted through this metal surface. Now as we know, metal is having a sea of free electrons, right? And they are free to move. That's why we call them as conductors. They are good conductors because they have plenty of unbounded or free electrons through which the actual current flows. Now when light incidents the metal surface, it actually excites the free electrons present on the metal surface, and these electrons now get enough energy so that they can break the bond, its bond with the metal nuclei, and they can be freely moved out from the metal using the remaining energy. Yes, so this basically is photoelectric effect. Now just let's just understand this through this example. Now this is a ruler. Okay, now when I incident a ray of light of specific frequency, okay, to on this surface, automatically there will be some electrons, those are emitted from this metal to the atmosphere. Now now how this happens or why this happens, we'll study this in further part of this video, but now let's just understand this effect very properly. Okay, now I said this light of specific frequency, right? Now what is the effect of frequency on this photoelectric effect? Let's just understand that. Energy of a photon is directly proportional to frequency of the light through light. Okay, now let's just consider three examples. First I incident red light on the surface, then I incident green light on the surface, and then I incident the blue light on the surface. Okay, you know VIBGYOR, right? VIBGYOR. Now in this, we understand that blue light is having higher frequency but lower wavelength. But energy is directly proportional to frequency. Hence, blue light has higher energy than the red light. Red light is having the longest wavelength, but it has the lower frequency. Hence, it has lower energy. Now, when red light is incident on this metal plate, there are, as shown here, there are no electrons emitted. Okay. Now, when the green light, which is having a much higher frequency than red light, is incident on this metal plate, there are few electrons emitted, but the velocities of these electrons are very low. When the blue light is incident on this metal plate, there are large number of electrons emitted. Also, the velocity of emitted electrons is more. That is, the thrown out velocity of these electrons is more, that is proportional to the energy of these electrons. Hence, the energy of emitted electrons for blue light is much greater than the energy of emitted electrons for green light. Hence, the frequency of electrons also affects this photoelectric effect. Now, after understanding this effect practically, now let's further see how this was experimentally proved. To prove this experimentally, what we consider is, we consider this evacuated tube. That is, this tube is having a vacuum inside. It doesn't have any air. Okay. Now, this is the cathode and this is the anode, which is connected to this voltage, that is battery, a voltage supply. Now, here is a potential divider, or we just say a rheostat, which actually changes the voltage between these two plates. Okay, this is the ammeter used to measure the current flowing through these plates. This is the voltmeter that is used to detect the voltage between these two plates. And now how this experiment is actually performed. Now what they do is they incident a light of certain frequency on this cathode. Okay, now cathode, as it is negatively charged, hence it has a higher number of electrons. Hence the light is specifically incidented on cathodes only. Now, when the light is incident, there are few free electrons on this metal surface. When the light incidents on this surface, the free electrons get excited and they get enough energy to break the bond between the metal nuclei and themselves, and they are freely ejected out from the metal surface. Now, here is a positive charge and inside there is vacuum, so there is no air resistance for these electrons to flow towards the positive charge, as electrons are negatively charged and this plate anode is positively charged. Hence there's a attraction, electrostatic attraction between them, so these electrons flow towards the positively charged, and hence the electric circuit is complete and there's a current detected in this ammeter. So this is the basic proof which we give to prove that the photoelectric effect exists. Okay, now why this effect occurs? Okay, we also have a question, right? Why this effect occurs? Why there's need of going, some electrons are emitted when there's a light rays incident on a metal plate? The answer is this happens because light rays, the method, this can't be proved by considering light rays as waves. We know dual nature of light, right? Light also behaves as waves, also it behaves as particles. So here we'll be considering light as particles. Now the smallest particle of light is called photon, right? Light is made up of photons. Now when these photons get incident on this metal plate here, they have some energy, right? They have some energy. When they get collide on this metal surface, the same energy is absorbed by the free electrons in the metal surface here. Metal is generally electronegative, that is, it has a large number of free electrons ready to flow on application of potential. That is, they are the basic conductors. So when this energy of photons is given to this metal plate, the electrons absorb this energy and they break the bond between the electron and the metal nuclei, and now they are free to move outside from this metal surface. They are ejected out from this metal surface because they have enough energy to break the nuclei bond and move out. Okay, now there's one condition. Actually this happens only for a specific frequency of light, as I explained earlier. Now this depends on the work function of metal and frequency of light used. Now this mathematical relation we'll study in the further slide, but before that we'll study on what principles this photoelectric effect dependent. Firstly, this is dependent on law of conservation of energy, and this is the basis of photoelectric effect. Yes, because this light rays, that is the photons incidenting on this metal plate, are having some energy, right? Now when they are absorbed by this metal plate, this energy has to go somewhere. So this energy is converted into the kinetic energy of these electrons, as well as some energy is lost as a work function so that these electrons break from these metal pieces. So energy is totally conserved, as well as the momentum is conserved. As you see, when the photon incident on this metal plate, they have certain momentum. Now when this electrons are moving out, they also have certain momentum. If we add this, we get the same value. So that law of conservation of momentum is also valid here. And the point to note is atomic collisions are always called as perfectly elastic collisions. They are the perfect examples of elastic collisions. Now let's understand the work function and other stuff mathematically. Now we say energy of photon is given by E is equal to h into nu, where h is the Planck's constant and nu is the frequency of light of that photon. Okay. Now h is equal to c upon lambda, where c is the constant speed of light, which we take as 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second, and is divided by the wavelength, because frequency is c upon lambda, which we call it. So this is the energy of incident photons on the metal plate. Okay, now as I said, to understand photoelectric effect, we have to choose light as a particle, because as we know light, the dual nature, as I explained earlier, the if we consider light as a wave, we cannot explain this photoelectric effect so cleanly. But when we consider light as a particle, it's very easy to prove why this effect happens, and the same was used by Einstein to first time theoretically prove this effect. Now, let's talk about the threshold energy or work function for the photoelectric effect. Now, this formula just this is called as phi. Now, this phi seems to be a lot much complicated, right? But I will try to tell you this in a more simplest form manner, which I can do. Now, let's understand this energy formula of this phi, that is work function or threshold energy. Its formula is H into nu Th. That is, H is the Planck's constant and nu Th, that is is called as the threshold frequency. Okay, here you understand that this is the similar formula as like of energy which I told you earlier, that is H nu, and here is also H into nu Th. That is, the work function is also energy. But this is the minimum amount of energy required to remove an electron from the metal. Yes, you can get its definition here. The minimum amount of energy required to remove an electron from the metal is called as threshold energy and is denoted by the symbol phi. Yes, so it's also energy. Okay, we got it. Now let's understand how the total energy is conserved. As I said, now E photon, let's consider it is the energy of photon that is been given by the expression h nu here. Okay, now total energy of photon is equal to work function plus energy of emitted electron. Yes, this is a very important formula, students, you have to note this. Now here you can see h nu is the energy of incident photon, h nu th is the frequency, is the energy or work function, threshold energy of the metal surface, plus half MeV square. Now what is this? This is kinetic energy of emitted electron, where Me is the mass of electron. You can get the value of mass of electron here, that is 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31 kg, and V is the velocity of the emitted electron. Okay, so this is how a total energy, that is overall energy, is conserved in this process. Now let's go further. Now, work function or threshold energy, as I talked about earlier. Now, here, one thing to note is, here I showed nu th. Nu th, what is this? This I said it is called as threshold frequency. So, this is the minimum frequency for after above which the electrons will start to emit from the metal surface. If my threshold frequency is 600 hertz and I am giving a light having a frequency of around 300 hertz, now at this point there will no photoelectric effect observed, because the threshold frequency for my metal is higher than the threshold frequency of incident light. That's why when proving the photoelectric effect experimentally in our labs, what we do is we use the UV radiations but no visible radiations, because visible radiations are having a very low frequency as compared to UV radiations. Hence we generally use UVC in laboratories to prove this effect. Okay, now let's understand when this effect will occur, or when this effect will not occur. Now here when we see, if E, that is energy of incident photon, is less than work function, there will be no photoelectric effect. Yes, because the energy of incident photons is very less, so very less that electrons can't break its bond with atomic nuclei, and they won't be able to move out freely. Hence, when E is less than 5, there's no photoelectric effect. Now, when E becomes just equal to 5, that is E equal to 5, just photoelectric effect will take place, but kinetic energy of ejected photoelectron will be 0. Yes, that is, when E is equal to 5, the uh, bonds between the electrons and the metallic nuclei will break, but electrons won't move with higher velocities because there is no kinetic energy left for the electrons to move out. They will just break from the metal surface and just move out in the atmosphere freely. Now when E is equal to 0, that is energy of incident photoelectron is 0. That is no photoelectron will incident on the metal plate. That is no light is flashing on the metal plate. Now, when E is greater than phi, the photoelectric effect will take place and the electrons emitted will possess enough amount of kinetic energy to move along the metal surface linearly. Yes, they will move out the metal surface with possessing some amount of kinetic energy when E is greater than phi. Yes. Now, what Einstein actually proved is he proved the same equation. What Einstein said is the energy of photon is equal to energy needed to remove an electron plus kinetic energy of emitted electron. This equation is called as Einstein photoelectric equation, where W is equal to phi is called as a work function of the metal, and every metal has a different work function. If you say work function for zinc, it's different. If you say work function for potassium, it's different. It depends on electronegativity of the metal, as well as how reactive or or what amount of electrons, free electrons are present in that metal, that decides the work function of that metal. Okay, where h is the Planck constant, v is the frequency of incident photon, w is the work function, and E is the maximum kinetic energy of emitted electrons, that is half MeV square, which I said earlier. Now, what are the applications of photoelectric effect? Why are we studying this effect? Dear students, this effect is very important for us in generation of renewable energy. If you say how, just read the first point. It says it is used to generate electricity in solar panels. As I said earlier, this effect converts light energy into electricity, and this same phenomenon is used to generate electricity in solar panels. And without this, there's no solar panels, so there will be no solar energy harvested as a renewable energy. Now, it also used as a motion sensor or position sensors. Now, how this work? This is actually somewhat electronic stuff, but how they work is there's a photo sensor here. That is our metal plate, which I showed you earlier. That is a photo sensor here. There's a continuous beam of light projected from here. Consider this as a beam of light, and it is emitting certain beam on this metal plate continuously. Now, when there's something passing in between this, if something passing, it cuts the beam of light from this pen, and automatically there will less voltage generated here on this plate. So this is detected by the sensors, and similarly the motion sensors and position sensors work. This effect is also used in the burglar alarm. This system, which I told you earlier, if a burglar cuts these rays, the automatically it is detected and alarm goes on. So this effect is used there. Now in digital cameras also. Now I'll be telling you an interesting experiment. What you do is just take your TV remote. If you are having, there will be small IR LED on the top side of the remote. Just take your mobile phone, start your camera, and try to see the LED, which is on the IR LED on the top of that remote, and just press any button and see it through your camera. What you'll see is you'll be seeing a bluish light on through that LED. But when you see it through the naked eyes, you won't be able to see it. But when you see it through the camera, you are able to see it. How does this happen? This happens because our eyes are not able to detect the violet light or in IR rays, infrared rays. But digital cameras have that ability to detect that and show that as an image on the screen. Hence, digital cameras can detect or record the light because they have the photoelectric sensors that responds to different colors of light, and it also responds to IR light, which our eyes can't directly. Yes, now it's also used in X-ray photoelectron spectroscopy. Now here you can see this technique uses X-rays to radiate on a surface and measure the kinetic energy of emitted electrons. Yes, what they do is they basically take a surface on which they want to study, and they just give a beam of light, that is X-rays. Beam of light, but they are X-rays actually. X-rays on this surface, and they check the speed of emitted electrons. Now, by studying the speed of emitted electrons, they are also able to study the chemical compounds of this surface, or how much are the number of free electrons and other stuff. Like here I have shown here the chemical composition, the empirical formula, and the chemical state of the substance can be studied by use of this photoelectric effect. So this important is this effect. And yes, another important application of this effect is our smartphones. Have you seen your smartphones? There's auto brightness mode on the smartphone. When you go into bright places, the brightness automatically increase, and when you go into dark places, the brightness actually decreases. Now how this function work is, there's a small photo sensor fitted just left to your earpiece on the mobile. Now when there's a more number amount of light incidenting on that photoelectron, it says that it senses that the light is more, and it automatically increases the brightness of your display, so that you are able to see your display even though the surrounding is bright. And when the surrounding is dark, there is less amount of photons incidenting on the photoelectric sensor, and automatically the sensor also dims the display, so that your eyes won't get hurt. So this is how I was supposed to explain the photoelectric effect. Hope you would have understand the basics of this. Now further mathematical equations, numericals will solve in the further sessions. But thank you for listening to me so patiently till this time. Thank you very much.